Hi, Cinema Summary here. In this video, we will tell you about a comedy horror film, so don't take it seriously. This movie tells you about a couple who runs a meat shop, but it doesn't go well until they find this tasty meat by accident. What kind of meat is it? Spoilers ahead, you have been warned. The film opens by showing a meat business that lacks customers lately, perhaps because of the weird massages from the owner, Vincent. Vincent is not alone, he is accompanied by his wife, Sophie. Not long after, the shop is attacked by a bunch of masked vegan protesters. Vincent goes after them in rage and tries to hold one of them. After some difficulty, he can reveal one of the activists' identities. However, they are able to run away because they win in number. The couple then has lunch at their friend Stephanie and Mark's house later in the day. Sophie sobs to Stephanie in the kitchen, telling her their business is about to go bankrupt. At first, Stephanie tries to make her friend feel better, but she quickly begins bragging about how well off her husband runs a successful butcher shop. During their lunch, Vincent tells about his shop's incident. Mark suggests Vincent own a weapon to protect his shop. On their way home, Sophie and Vincent are talking about divorce. Their marriage is in bad shape and has grown monotonous. However, Vincent ignores her and finds one of the masked members who destroyed his shop. Vincent drives his car in reverse but loses control of the car. He accidentally takes the man's life. In a state of panic, he starts to call the police and confess that it was an accident, but Sophie stops him out of concern for a lengthy prison term. From serial killer shows she watched, she got the idea to imitate a criminal named Michel Francois, who made the victim into pieces first before throwing them away. He reluctantly accepts her suggestion. At night, he places the body in his store and begins to butcher it. Because it's already late, Vincent plans to throw it in the following day. The meat is missing the following day when he wakes up late. Mrs. Coignard, a regular client, enters the store as he scrambles to find it and asks for more meat. It turns out that Sophie accidentally mistook the human meat for pork and sold it to Mrs. Coignard. Vincent is surprised and tries to divert the topic and offer another meat, but she refuses and still asks for the same meat she got before. As the two debate, Sophie grows curious and insists on trying the meat. He can't tell the truth about the meat in front of Mrs. Coignard, so Vincent hesitantly hands his wife a bit of flesh. To his surprise, Sophie adores it, making Mrs. Coignard even crazier for more meat. Finally, Vincent says that the pork is Iranian-born, which is so rare and delicious. He then grudgingly sells Mrs. Coignard a sizable portion of the meat, and as soon as she leaves, he tells his wife the whole story. To his surprise, Sophie has no problem eating that kind of meat. She proposes selling the meat in its place instead, not only disposing of the body but also can gain profit with minimum capital. Vincent is appalled by her idea and prepares to throw the meat away. But before he can, another client enters and wants the meat Mrs. Coignard bought. Their business runs smoothly and growing because of the Iranian pork. The couple quickly becomes very wealthy by selling it. Vincent becomes intrigued as he watches the product's popularity soar. Later that evening, he takes some meat home and tries it. To his surprise, he finds that he loves it. Sophie informs him that vegans have exceptionally pure blood and delicious taste. Then she recommends that in order to make more money, they should go after the extreme vegans and sell their meat. On the other hand, Vincent cuts her off by calling it absurd and wicked. Chloe, the couple's daughter, invites her boyfriend Lucas for lunch the following day. He immediately declines the expensive steak, cheese, and cake the family offers him. He turns out to be a vegan, and Chloe also becomes vegan because of her boyfriend. A young couple leaves and Vincent and Sophie conclude that all their efforts to prepare a family lunch have been in vain because of vegetarianism. Vincent can't hold his anger and accepts his wife's proposal about hunting. The couple visits a vegan restaurant that evening and has chosen their first victim. However, he suddenly changes his mind before doing any action. They don't give up on their plan and try another scheme the following day. They disguise themselves as a vegan to find a new vegan victim. A thin man eventually approaches them and commends them for doing the protest. To talk about veganism, Sophie persuades him to meet later in a parking lot. While waiting for the skinny guy, they discuss the method of hunting their prey. The couple is shocked to learn that the vegan has brought several of his pals along with him when he soon comes in a van. They haven't planned on how to hunt their prey if they lose in numbers. Instead, they are forced to follow Vegan's plan to rob a butcher shop. To cover their identity as a butcher, they remark themselves as a florist. When the butcher couple arrives at their destination, they discover that Mark and Stephanie, their pals, own the meat market. Vincent reminisces how arrogant they are in their lunch, and immediately enters the store and discharges all his rage into a wealthy couple. They realize that their plan is not running smoothly, and they need to plan a new method. However, the discussion is not going as they want and enrages Vincent. Vincent goes out, and Sophie is still on her spot. Not long after, a vegan waiter approaches Sophie and talks for a while. They become closer in less than 1 hour, and the waiter offers Sophie a ride. Things do not stop there, and the atmosphere gets passionate. As they are having fun, Sophie deliberately bites his tongue and pretends to offer him treatment in her house. I believe you know where this is going. Sophie approaches Vincent and tells the whole story as the man uses the restroom. Vincent becomes uneasy and declines to carry it out. In addition, he asks his wife to let the man go. She doesn't give up on her plan and purposefully takes care of the man in front of Vincent. Sophie's plan seems to work. Vincent beats the helpless man to his last breath. Now, they have new stock of tasty meat, and their relationship becomes much better than before. The following day, Sophie's friend Stephanie informs her of the vandalism. They arrive at Stephanie's store and show their attention. Then, a police officer approaches Vincent and asks for a private conversation. Vincent is afraid of being caught for his actions, but it turns out the police only want to purchase his Iranian pork. Because of the new stock, Vincent accepts his offer and sells more meat. Every day, we can see buyers willing to sacrifice their time queuing and pay higher prices than average. Thus, more profit comes into their pocket. Now they live a good life. However, Vincent's store is out of stock within 1 hour, meaning they need to hunt more for their stock. Their hunting becomes a regular activity. One day, Sophie and Vincent pay a visit to their friends and bring the famous pork they sell. As expected, Stephanie and Mark love the taste. Not long after, Mark finds a pacemaker inside the meat. It turns out that one of their prey has a pacemaker implanted in his body. Vincent tries to find another excuse for this, but Stephanie, a nurse back then, is sure it is a pacemaker. The topic goes to the competition between their meat store, and the arguments turn to a fight. After a few minutes of battling, Vincent and Sophie decide to leave the place to avoid more fighting and suspicion. Sophie and Vincent keep on doing their regular activity and earn more income. They even capture moments together while being with their prey. The next day, Vincent and Sophie go to a vegan festival and spot a young fat boy. Vincent's mind has been drawn to hunting and feels excited about it. Vincent quickly realizes that he is not normal now and abandons their activity, ashamed of himself. On their way out, they meet their daughter and Lucas. Lucas doesn't expect them to attend this festival and greets them. During their conversation, Lucas brings up the recent disappearance of his vegan friends and blames butchers. Because butcher and vegan have had a conflict recently, Vincent and Sophie make fun of the problem, making Lucas angry and screaming at them. A vegan who destroyed Mark's shop is also there and learns that Vincent and Sophie are not florists, they are butchers instead. After the argument with Lucas, his desire to hunt appears once again. Sophie notices an overweight woman outside the fair, and they do their regular task. While processing new stock, a police officer comes to visit and asks about several vegans who have disappeared in the past few weeks. He also asks about where Vincent gets the great supplier. After chatting for a while, the cop leaves. Vincent has a feeling that the police will suspect them of missing vegan problems. Sophie tries to calm him down because there is no proof against them, and all evidence is sold to their customers. On the other hand, Vincent is still panic state and afraid of getting caught. The doorbell abruptly rings again. It is Lucas who regrets his action at the vegan festival. He understands that it's not a proper thing to do and will never do it again. While consoling him, the sly Sophie tells her husband to bring something to relax Lucas. Vincent understands where this is going and immediately asks Lucas to go home. On the next day, Vincent suddenly informs them that they don't have any Iranian pork and don't know when the stock will be available again. Vincent leaves the store with his dog to avoid an argument with Sophie. On the other hand, a group of 3 vegan come in, and Sophie tells them to leave. They are a group that teams up with Sophie and Vincent to ruin Stephanie's store. Later that night, Vincent returns home and spots a familiar car. He goes in with his dog and stops the group that hurts his wife. Long story short, Sophie, Vincent, and their dogs win the fight, but they got arrested for hunting 30 victims and sold it. It turns out Mark and Stephanie reported them after finding out about the pacemaker. As a result of their crime, Sophie and Vincent are given execution for the seriousness of their actions. The movie ends. Thank you for watching our video. Like and subscribe can help us a lot. See you in the next video.